Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being with us wherever you are. If you're watching and listening on YouTube.com, Facebook.com, both /Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com for live internet streaming radio worldwide. We have an awesome show set up here for you today inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Very excited for the opportunity to bring you three fantastic guests in all different pieces of Central New York. We're going to start things off with an all-new Dolphin Dive. You know that Wednesdays at 9 a.m. is Dolphin Time, the first and third Wednesday of each month, AD and DT, with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. The second and fourth Wednesdays bringing you the Dolphin Dive, diving into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. Today's guest, Joe Tesori, rejoining me here on the show, coming off of an exclusive story that Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora carried for you last week about Moyne looking to add a golf simulator. We're going to speak with the head coach of men's and women's golf at Moyne, Joe Tesori, about this simulator in a deeper conversation on what's to come and how this all got set up. So very excited to speak with Joe. And then we're going to jump in later in the first hour to our conversation with Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange basketball alum, about the departure of Benny Williams from the program and the team moving forward. And in hour number 2 at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will be joined by CNS Director of Athletics Tim Bednarski to speak on the hiring of Jim Ryan as the football coach, the head football coach for CNS and the North Stars, after having Jim on the show yesterday. So a lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and it is my honor and my privilege to have these wonderful guests on to start things off in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Joe Tesori here with us, Moyne Dolphins men's and women's golf head coach, and let's bring him in here. Joe, how are we doing today?
Dan, how's it going?
It's going very well, and Joe, you and I were talking off the air about this awesome opportunity to bring a golf simulator on campus. I got to break the story in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership when Athletics Director Bob Beretta and I had a conversation last week about this, and I wanted to go deeper into it because I know that you've obviously been an integral part of trying to get this all set up. Bring me back to the beginning of what were the first steps? When did things start rolling toward the opportunity of having a golf simulator?
Well, Dan, the beef of it's probably been the last 2 years. Simulators have been around. Guys and gals on the tours have been using littler range flight scopes and things to get their distance, all the thing, club head speed, ball speed, for your, it's probably going on 15 years. But the more and more simulators that you see, whether people have them in their home, their garage, country clubs are getting them in up north for winter, a benefit to their members. And we just felt that we had to have this, being a northern school, and we just got to get this. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Every fella, every young girl that we're recruiting has said, do you have a simulator and on campus? And the answer has been a bit of a conditional no, but we have been fortunate in the last 2 or 3 seasons that over at the first tee of Syracuse, years ago, former athletic director Matt Bassett and Tim Fenton, the current associate AD, went to Peter Weber at the first tee at Butternut, and we've struck up a relationship with them for our young men and women to practice there. But the simulator they have is a TrackMan one that most people are familiar with, and we are able to use that. We call and make times, and our men and women have been using that for, this is the third year. So it's great. It's just we'd like one of our own that, they don't have to get in the car and go to. So when Bob came aboard, that was one of the first things that I asked for. And, we take all the $25, $50, $100, $500 donations, but we've received a few big ones, and we have the money in place. So I said, we have the money. Now we just need the space, and we have a racquetball court. And so Tim and I went to various colleges locally, within 100 miles, and that's sort of becoming the thing that they're taking racquetball courts that aren't used as much in many places and transitioning them into a simulator site. So a few months ago, we finally got the okay from, facilities, and here we are talking about it, and we're getting ready to get it going.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the background on that as I'm speaking here with Joe Tesori, the Moyne men's and women's golf head coach, about bringing in a golf simulator. Like you said, going around to different campuses and seeing a reimagining of a racquetball court. What, going from here to where we're expected to go? I know when I spoke to Bob, he said, around 6 months, he's hoping here that this would get done, that when we're looking at August, September 2024, with student athletes coming onto campus, that it'll be there. What can you say about the timetable and what you need to get this into the racquetball court and get this all set up? Just what that timetable looks like to you.
You certainly have to, the racquetball court is the perfect space for it. We're planning on having, the simulator go in there, AstroTurf type putting green, that they can practice that on. There's plenty of room in it. The actual, when the TrackMan is shipped to you, it's probably, and their team comes in and oversees the putting it together and testing all the computer sites and, all the information that needs to be recorded. And so they give it runs and dry runs with people hitting and everything. So from the time they get on campus to the time, okay, you got the green light, it's about 3 or 4 days. With all the, and I'm sure you've talked with the coaches and Bob, with the new softball press box and the baseball dugouts and the concession stands and, all the stuff that we've had to do to make Moyne, facilities-wise, the best that we can be to compete at Division I. We have something now, and we're getting ready. We start our season, the women March 6th, the men March 7th. So, in the next couple of weeks, Peter Weber and First Tee, we're regular visitors there. So once, I would say, the kids are out of school, graduation, I think that's when the project itself will get started. Actually, the main architect, Fayud Dietz at Moyne, and our big sales manager and our contact, Adam Corson from TrackMan, are setting up a meeting. I believe it's next week, and Adam's coming in and saying, this is where we need the power, this is where we need the outlets, this is this is that. Fayud will take that information, and then when the bell goes off ready to go.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
And it is, and like you said, I mean, you took a bunch of different donations of all different sizes, and then you had some people step up. Were you surprised at the level that people, kind of stepped up and said, "Hey, we want to donate X amount of dollars. We want you to be able to build up your facilities and do this." I mean, is it something that you saw coming, or was it just people that decided that they wanted to make this special donation, and maybe it was a bit of a surprise? I don't even want to call it a surprise, but was it something that you saw coming down the pipeline, or was it something that was like a pleasant addition to the donations?
We run through Moyne the big Gold Wave fundraiser. Joe Russo runs one in June, and fundraising goes towards that for all the programs, as does the Gold Wave. That's our big fundraiser, and there's a corporate fundraiser. I started a golf fundraiser specifically for golf, I think 7 years ago. And that would all those bring in monies. There's a big giving day that's usually the end of February, 1st of March. And I went to my class of 1971 as we were approaching the 50-year anniversary some 3 years ago, and wrote a letter to them and said, here's what we got going, and anything you can do is appreciated. And that brought in about $30,000 in one day. Was I surprised? I wasn't surprised that 100 of my classmates gave. I was surprised at the amount that they gave. And then, through the help of some others, they said, you got a good thing here, and have you hit on some of the alumni? Just asking them, telling them what you have going, and their former golf, not only a Moyne alum, but they played on the golf team. So I did some research and contacted some of my friends, and lo and behold, a couple of those, 3 or 4 of those people came through with just really nice gifts, and we're happy to do it. I won't call it a dilemma, but our little stumbling block is, so now we have all this money,
yeah,
and we know what, our big thing was to get the simulator bought and paid for, and all the accessories that go with it. So we got all the money, but we haven't showed the alumni what we're doing with it. And I have a face for radio, Dan, and I'm an honest guy, but I can't keep saying, hey, we got this simulator coming. And so now, once we got the okay, I've had some others say, just let us know what you need going forward. So the Moyne community has been unbelievably generous. I'm not good at going out and asking for money. It's not what I've ever done. I've been blessed with the generosity of the Moyne community. I can't say enough.
Yeah, and like you said, you wanted to show where everything was going, where the money was going, and to everybody that stepped up, and $30,000 in a day to be able to show that and to say we got the okay, we got the approval, we're moving forward. I've seen you around campus, and when I've gone and I'm doing certain things on campus, I've seen you in different meetings and whatnot. And so, I think you got to give yourself, Joe, a little bit more credit here in the sense of the fact that you work very diligently with this program. You obviously, and you've shown this on the show numerous times, your passion for golf is easily tangible, and your dedication to Lemoyne is something that we've seen for many years. So I think it's fair to say, and I think anybody watching and listening that knows you would say, that there's some credit that should definitely go to you for your desire to do this, for your desire to show what these donations are going to, where this investment is going to be, and to, be so excited about something that's going to do so much for student athletes. And I know that you are taking your time, lending your voice, and giving information to people and in an effort for something like this to happen. So, I want to give you credit, even if you don't want to give it to yourself, because I know that you've worked very purposefully in having something like this get done.
Well, I appreciate that. And, it really helps to have people that have been before me that have helped me with certain things. And I go back to when I first came on campus in 1967, and Mr. Nyland was still our athletic director. Dick Rockwell, retired AD and, iconic baseball coach there at Lemoyne. He was just coming on board. I had a great golf coach in Bill O'Leary and Mike Bello. The lessons that I learned from them and how to conduct yourself as a collegiate golfer and a student athlete were so impressionable upon me. And it was Dick Rockwell that hired me. It was Coach Rockwell that agreed with me that we could start a women's team, which we did. It was Matt Bassett that came along from Binghamton University, and, what a great leader he was. And then Tim was our interim AD, and a truer friend I have never had. And when I would fall off the spectrum, so to speak, Tim would get me back on it. And then Bob coming on board, with the West Point, business acumen has given me a different look and a way to approach certain things. So I've been lucky to have people that have led the way. And it's, and I enjoy doing it. And I have, 17 or 18 student athletes on the women's and men's golf team that they need me to fight for them, and they need me to, they want to have everything that I think they should have, especially now as a D1 program, and it's going to help us be better players. It's just the way it is.
And Joe, before I let you go, here with Joe Tesori, Lemoyne men's and women's golf head coach, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Lemoyne inside of Dolphin Dive. You spoke on, the reimagining and repurposing of this racquetball court. And when I spoke with Bob, he stated that this is something in the plan of the building itself, the event and recreation center, that they're looking at a $40 million capital campaign of reimagining and, kind of reinvigorating the building itself. So he said, we're going to put the simulator in, but it has the ability to move. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, this simulator is going to come in. We're going to have this for the golf team, which is a beautiful thing. And then there's also the reality that in this repurposing and reimagining and retooling of the building itself, you could move again to a more variable spot. You could stay in the same place. What are your thoughts on that, of getting it set up, but then knowing that the long-term plan, hopefully in the start of summer 2025, the building itself is going to be upgraded?
We had to take the first step. We had to get the okay. It's one thing when I'm recruiting a young man or young woman to play for me in coming next fall or coming in 2025 and saying, we got one coming in another 2 years, because I've been saying that for 2 years. So now that we've got the yes, we've got it. And yes, it has the ability to move. And quite honestly, that's not where my attention is right now. Yeah. It's that we've got it, and now we can say that we have something. And we're not going to have just a racquetball court with a net in it. You're going to walk in there and you're going to see, our banners from NCAA and team pictures and the All-Americans and the student, the academic All-Americans. I mean, it's going to be our showcase and, what Lemoyne is all about. And we're going to be proud of that. And when it comes time to upgrade, we have some things planned that I think are going to be exciting, just as exciting as this is. So it doesn't bother me. We're just so happy right now.
Yeah. And I think it's incredible. Like you said, we saw the phase one, which was the concession stand and restrooms at Ted Grant Field, and then the baseball dugouts and, the upgrading of the baseball area itself, and then seeing a press box coming in for softball for the first time ever. You're part of this next phase. You're part of this next wave. And this is something, like you said, it's been secured. It's done. You've talked about it for a couple of years. Now it's happening. So final note here, where are we going from here? What's the timetable? Are we looking at August, September 2024, that when we're welcoming in the new students and student athletes for this upcoming season, that they're going to be able to walk right in and see this? What is, as far as time goes from here, I know you said off the air you already have one picked out, and you had to get the IT, make sure all the technology and everything was set up, so I know there's a lot of work you've done in the background. Where do we go from here?
When the student athletes come on board and we're getting ready in September to go play, let's say at Bucknell, and we got 5 days of rain, our plan is that we're going to say, all right, we got practice tonight, 4 o'clock, simulator. That's the plan. And,
awesome.
It's not just a simulator. It's a place where our young men and women can go and share, the day also, and help each other maybe with that accounting exam that's going to come up. It's our little place, and that's exciting for us. That's what I envision. That's what I have envisioned. And that's what now Bob and Tim and the staff at Lemoyne, President Mira, have given us the okay, and we're so gracious and with so much gratitude for them. We're excited. I'm excited, and we're excited.
Yeah, coming from Joe Tesori here, Lemoyne men's and women's golf head coach on the simulator and the entire, everything that's not just the simulator, like you said, but everything that's going around it, the honoring of the history of Lemoyne men's and women's golf that we'll be able to see here as well in the reimagining of the racquetball area, which will now become the simulator area within these next few months, and a place to go and practice and a place to build and develop and have that team time and camaraderie, something that is so awesome to see for Lemoyne Golf, for the Lemoyne Dolphins in general, great for the alumni to see and future student athletes, and great for you, Joe, and all the work that you've put in. You won't have to visit, and I know, like you said, you've had great relationships in the community, but now instead of having to visit a place and leave campus, there's going to be something right there for the student athletes. And what I would like to do, Joe, and you're going to be far better than me, is that when this simulator comes in, we'll have to do a Dolphin Dive of hopefully how good I can try to be in this simulator. Basically, I'll probably just film you, and I'll take a couple shots. But I spoke with Bob about it. He goes, nobody wants to see me golf, but I would definitely love the opportunity of doing a dolphin dive with you here and maybe in the development process. But I'm very gracious, very thankful, I should say, for you being so gracious with your time and allowing me to get some behind the scenes on this. And I really want to publicly congratulate you and the team that this is finally going to be happening for you, and you're going to have something to call home and yet another, feather in the cap for Moyne golf history. So congratulations on that.
Well, I appreciate it. And, when we have our opening ceremony, we'll certainly have you. And if you can promise to keep it within the nets and not hit the racquetball walls, we'll let you hit. You hit one of the first balls. How's that?
Fair enough. I'm going to give you my word, and then I'm going to pray that God will help me keep my word. So thank you, Joe, for everything as always, and I'll look forward to talking with you soon.
Thanks for having me, Dan. I appreciate it. I love what you do, and thanks for helping Moyne. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for all you do. You make it easy to root for Moyne when you have good people on campus like yourself. So thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yep.
That coming from Joe Tesori one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life and means the world. I mean, it really does. It means the world to have these conversations and, to be able, and the words are very kind. They're very, very kind. And I mean, it does. It's when you have these people and these experiences, it's nice. A lot of, if you watch and listen to the show, when I get a compliment like that, it leaves you speechless because, you always hope that people are picking up what you're putting down. And I know, like Joe said, he's worked so hard and he gives his word and he wants to keep that word. These people made donations. He's like, I want to show you what you're donating to. I want you to physically see it and know that it's coming and know that it's here. And so this golf simulator thing, it's happening. It is happening. He talked about that. We have the green light. We have an area. We have technology picked out. So, this is a great moment for Moyne, and I'm proud to share this exclusive moment on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and through Dan Tortora Broadcast Media in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Moyne College Dolphins. And what does that mean for people that don't know? It means that anything that goes through Moyne and coming out to you through the Dolphins comes through Wake Up Call first, and that we are the bridge to the world, not just to Central and Upstate New York, but to everybody, everywhere you are. We are the bridge of telling the story. We're the only one there on campus telling the story of the move to Division I. And, literally with Bob in the beginning when they were thinking about doing this. And then, sitting down, and I know Linda's done different things in the community, but sitting down with Linda, the president, Dr. Linda Lemura, and just really being with Bob the whole time, every piece. I mean, you can go back and look at our history, video upon video, conversation upon conversation of every single major step and some of those small steps along the way. So, Moyne has been wonderful as a partner. And when you hear kind words from people such as Joe, it means a lot. And I'm really happy for Joe. I'm excited. I'm so excited that Moyne's going to get a golf simulator. And again, folks, thinking about this, okay, these are things that have come in. And a lot of these plans were in place far before the decision to go to Division I. So when people think, oh, they're boosting all their facilities because they're Division I. No, they're boosting their facilities because this is the plan. When Bob Beretta came in as the athletics director at Moyne, he had a plan of different things he wanted to do. The administration, starting with President Dr. Linda Lemura and the, everybody within the board and the, the board of trustees and the chair of the board, Pete Delora. So many people have been working together to bring these things into action. Bob has had these plans, and I can vouch for that because he spoke to me about a bunch of these plans when it came to phase 1 of the concession stand restroom and the dugouts for baseball and the press box for softball. That was well before any Lemoyne going D1 move and before the conversations of that. So, to see all of these things happening, I want to be clear. Lemoyne was going to upgrade, challenge themselves, and rise, whether they were Division II or Division I. So if the story out there from some is, well, look at everything Lemoyne's doing to try and catch up, they're not trying to catch up. Lemoyne had these plans, a lot of these plans, in place to be done with or without a move to Division I. They wanted to upgrade and make additions and do different things, whether or not they were a Division II or Division I institution. These were things that Lemoyne was looking to do and plans that they had to do no matter where they were going to be, because they wanted to make sure that their student athletes and overall campus had the best experience that they could possibly have. So these were not, and as Bob stated in our exclusive conversation and the articles you can read on wakeupcalldt.com, these moves were not a Lemoyne Division I move. These moves were a Lemoyne wants to be better, wants to challenge, wants to move forward into a new era where things that needed to be done are being done. Now, it doesn't hurt that Division I sees that. It doesn't hurt that the NCAA sees that. It doesn't hurt that the NEC, the conference that they're in, the Northeast Conference, sees that. But this was not for all of that. It was for Lemoyne. It's always been for Lemoyne to continue to grow and blossom. And I've been on this campus for many years now, and I've seen its evolution even before our partnership, and I'm seeing this evolution now. I mean, literally, Bob came in, we met shortly after, and I've been with Lemoyne the majority of the time since he came in. So seeing this athletic department, seeing the different coaches that have come in as assistants and head coaches, seeing student athletes that have come in, student athletes that have come home, like a Caitlin Walker, like a Luke Sutherland, seeing student athletes rise to these incredible moments, seeing the first this and the first that in the NEC and Division I and so on and so forth. There's been so much to be proud of, from the pool where I've been to the fields where I've been, the many fields, the softball field, the baseball field, the field, the Ted Grant field for men's and women's soccer, for men's and women's lacrosse, swimming and diving, in the pool that's on campus in the rec center, to the court for volleyball and men's and women's basketball, to going off campus and seeing men's and women's tennis. There has been so many things that Lemoyne should be proud of, and they are. And now they're giving back to the student athletes, giving back to the alumni, giving back to campus, giving back to the overall health and wellness of people by saying, we're going to add this, we're going to bring this in, we're going to be attractive to the community, not just to Lemoyne itself, but to the entire community. And this golf simulator is a big piece of that. And I'm excited because, Bob said maybe I can go out there and do it, and Joe just said yes, as long as I keep it in the net. So I'm going to try and make the best impression that I can make so that I can have some keys to the golf simulator, that I can use at my disposal. That'd be nice. How about that, right? Late at night, what are you doing? I'm just golfing, So, but I'm very, very excited for this moment for the student athletes. I think it's wonderful, and it's only going to help the experience. Like I said, Lemoyne is no slouch, and they haven't been. And I think that anybody that, basically, I think a lot of people make opinions that have never been on campus or haven't been on campus regularly or haven't been on campus in years Lemoyne has a lot, and it was interesting. When I had the conversation with Linda, the president of Lemoyne, Dr. Linda Lemura, and we had this conversation about athletics. And when we were sitting there talking, we were talking about athletics, we were talking about academics, we were talking about the school as a whole. And she looked at me. It's actually in one of our Dolphin Dives, sitting down with Linda in her office, and she said, "What do you think? Should we go Division One?" And I said, "Linda, this has been a Division One caliber institution, in my opinion, for a long time. So should you go where I think you already belong?" Yeah, I do. And I'm happy that they did it. And I'm happy that they made this move. I know that it challenges people, but if we are not challenged, what are we doing? Right? We can be complacent just sitting. You can be complacent in that. I can be complacent as a business owner to say, okay, we've done this. We've gotten this far. I'm going to stop. Because why would I keep going? Because, I got this and I got that and I got this. And see, that's what people don't. Look at that. Greg saying DT is going to be a scratch golfer in no time. Hey man, I've surprised myself in a good way. And I believe in my putting and my short game skills. And I've had some good moments by the grace of God. I think I hit it. I closed my eyes and hit it. And I think God is like, I'm gonna carry that a little bit farther for you, son. So remember when I did a tournament after not playing any golf for over a decade, I looked up at God and I was like, just please help me to not embarrass myself. So, and I had a good day, and I had a better day. I've been doing the Lemoyne golf tournament at Tuscarora for a couple of years now, and I think things have gone well. I've been happy with it. So it's been fun. I very much appreciate what Lemoyne is doing. And I think that, like I said, there's a lot to be said about everything they're working toward and the effort and the enthusiasm of this. So if you haven't been on campus, if you haven't been to a game, if you haven't been to a match, if you haven't been to a meet, go and do it. Go see these student athletes, see these students, see what Lemoyne is all about. We don't just partner with anybody. And like I was saying, when you get to a certain point in your life and you say to or in your career, whatever it may be, and you say to yourself, like, I can stop, right? Now it's important to be healthy, right? Don't do so much that you're not sleeping and you're not eating and this, that, whatever. But when you push yourself to do certain things, and people say, why do you keep going? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep doing that? Why did you add this team? Why did you go on this? It's because for me, I don't want to be complacent. Comfort and enjoyment, that is important. Quality of life, wellness, not biting off more than you can chew, in the meaning of like, don't kill your body, right? Like don't be going so much that you can't breathe type of thing. But when people say you have these things, why do you keep pushing for more? Why do you keep working for more? Why do you add in something? Because I love to create. Because I love to challenge myself. I don't want to just sit and go, okay, I've done it all. Because I'll never do it all. God's done it all. And it continues to do it all. I'm never going to do it all. But I don't want to leave any stone unturned, to the best of my ability, of those stones that I'm trying to turn, and the ones that I'll learn about, and the surprises that I'll have. So I love being around people that say, yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, we got this and that, but we're going to challenge ourselves. Right? And Lemoyne has, in all the time that I've known them, they have challenged themselves. They have asked themselves to go beyond. And I respect that. I respect it tremendously. And I love seeing it. And I cannot wait for the golf simulator to come in, because for Joe, for the alumni, for the donors that are alumni, to the entire campus and all of the student athletes, to the future Dolphins, the current Dolphins, to be able to enjoy the simulator is a really incredible thing, and I can't wait for them to have it because I love seeing people happy and grow, and it's just awesome. So it's a long-winded response, but it's a worthy response to a worthy cause. So keep going, Lemoyne. As always, fins up. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange basketball alum, is going to be joining me on the heels of the news of Benny Williams officially being dismissed from the Syracuse basketball team. What does it mean for Syracuse? We step forward after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I am always honored and privileged to welcome Syracuse alumni back to the broadcast. We've been doing it for many, many years, and I cannot thank these wonderful student-athlete alum enough for being a part of the show. And with that being said, I am here with Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange basketball alum, speaking on Benny Williams' departure from the team. On the heels of it, we got the news yesterday, literally at the end of the show. We stayed on longer on the broadcast yesterday and made the announcement. I always say that Ross Turetsky is my unofficial official producer, and Ross had sent me over the graphic about it, and we reported it live that Benny Williams has been officially dismissed from the team. The message was very short and to the point. It was that Benny has been dismissed from the team and that the team wishes him the best. So that was it. That's all we've gotten. We haven't gotten much information throughout this entire back and forth of Benny playing, Benny not playing. So we're going to speak on the departure of Benny Williams, and we're also going to discuss the Orange moving forward with one of my favorite people that I get to talk to, not because he's a Syracuse basketball alum, but because he's become family. And, Gene, to me, means a lot. So he's done an awesome job in the community. He's always paying it forward. He's working hard. And he appreciates the little things, appreciates those meals, appreciates a good workout. So there's a lot to be said about Mr. Waldron, and always an honor for me to have on the show. So let's bring him in. Gene, how are we doing today?
Doing pretty good, Unfortunate news about Benny, but, it's just a sad situation because you always want to see kids doing well. You don't want to see them going through any turmoil and wind up in a situation that's happening to Benny right now. But it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. And you and I were talking about this off the air. I mean, Syracuse has been very tight-lipped, as always, as to what was the issue with Benny. From watching this and being a former student athlete at Syracuse, is there anything in this kind of wacky back and forth of he's available, he's not available, he's available, he's not available? Is there anything that you saw or something that you kind of maybe broke down from what was going on game to game, or maybe how he was on the sideline? Is there anything that you kind of saw that said, okay, maybe this is why, maybe this makes sense? Because everybody's been sitting here trying to figure out what exactly happened. Was there anything that you were able to kind of see, being a former student athlete, in what could have been the issue?
Well, I think, talent-wise, he's definitely, Benny definitely had the talent. I mean, I don't think anybody can dispute that. But, aside from that, I have to put it down to discipline. I don't know if he had the discipline that the coaching staff wanted from him because he was such a great talent. So for me, I think it came down to, discipline. I mean, you would see some games when he wasn't playing, he was slouching in the chair. And there was just little things, and little things add up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was told about certain things, and certain things continued. I mean, you can see the undiscipline at times when he was coming out the game. He wasn't being a part of the huddle, bumped the coach one game, slouching and things of that nature. When you're trying to build a team like what Red is trying to do, and especially as this first year, no coach needs to go through that, and it's unfortunate. For me, it would have to be, from where I sit, discipline. And I don't know if he had that.
Well, yeah, and like you said, I mean, what it really seemed like, Gene, is it seemed like Syracuse was trying to teach him a lesson that he refused to learn. And that's really what it feels like. If they said, we're going to suspend you this game, you're going to sit for this game, I mean, remember, this was not under Adrian. This began under Jim Boeheim last year. And Jim actually said, because I said to one of my buddies in the media, I said, guarantee you that they ask about Benny Williams, and sure enough, we went in there, and that was the first, it was like, came right off, right? It was one of those questions that came in early, and Jim said, of everybody that was in the building today, you want to ask me about one of the only people that wasn't here. And he didn't want to talk about it. So that happened last year. And then this year, we start the season off, Benny's not available. Then Benny's available. Then Benny's out. Then Benny's in. Then Benny's out. And it's been this, he's playing, he's not playing, he's playing for a couple games, he's not playing for a couple games. In the beginning of the season, there was a lot of people trying to kind of, figure out what the heck was going on really from the start. And I remember last season when Benny was going through whatever he was going through and he wasn't playing, people were like, oh, he's leaving, oh, he's this, oh, he's that, he doesn't want to be here, da-da-da. And a lot of people were talking for him. And so I remember I went into the locker room and he was sitting there and, they have their after game meal and he was eating chicken wings sitting in the middle of the room and nobody asked to talk to him. And there's, media all around the room. So I went over to Benny, and I've had a good relationship with Benny the whole time, and I still do. I would like to, hope that if him and I were talking, that we'd be able to talk even through something like this. And I said to Benny, I said, you got a minute? He said, for you? Yeah. For all these other mothers? No. And then this year, he kind of opened up and started to talk to more of the media after the fact of people kind of speaking for him. But people have been speaking for him for a long time. They said he was going to transfer after the first year. Him and I did a show about the fact that that wasn't true. And then people were talking about him last year, he was going to leave, and him and I talked about how that wasn't true. So now that he's been dismissed, all I can think about on my mind of this back and forth with is he playing, is he not playing, is that whatever lesson they were trying to teach him, if they sat him down and said, you're not going to play because we want you to be a team player. We want you to not be selfish. We want to see that you care about your teammates. And then, he goes and he slouches at the end of the bench and he's not paying attention, or he's on his cell phone, or whatever it may be. I'm using this as an example, just, making up that thing for argument's sake here. It just seems like Adrian and the staff kept trying to teach him the same thing. And from the outs and from my seat looking in, Benny wasn't picking up what they were asking him to pick up. And eventually they just did the definition of insanity, saying, all right, well, we either deal with the fact that he's not going to learn or we let him go. It just seems like they were trying to teach him a lesson he didn't want to learn.
Well, and it all started, like you said, it started from last year. As good as the talent he was, Coach Boeheim was not going to put up with him, so he sat him. And, it's funny because now that I look back on it, I used to always say, well, man, these guys got to play. But there was something going on that was keeping him glued to that bench. And for me, he had no discipline. And, what happened to him now could have happened to him last year. But I think Coach Boeheim was really giving him more than benefit of the doubt of whatever was going on by just keeping him glued to the bench. Which he should have probably learned a huge lesson, because you're talking about one of the greatest coaches of all time, putting up with that all year, and then not learning the lesson, and he brings it into this year where he was up and down. He was up and down playing-wise, but the discipline was it was just a lot to probably deal with. And, credit to Coach Autry and that staff, his first year, he's got to make a stance. He's got to make a point that I've got to do what's best for the team.
Yeah.
I've got to do what's best to keep this team together. And then, at the end of the day, this is something that's had to be done, because he's got to send a message. He has to send a message to the team that, certain things have to be done a certain way, and this is how I'm going to do it. And if you can't comply to that, then you're probably going to have to go. I mean, for me, Benny's probably one of the best players on that team. And now that the fact that he's going to be gone sends a message to the other players that, look, get yourself together, whatever it is, don't bring it to the team. And I think Benny had a hard time doing that.
Yeah, in that, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to look at this, Gene, and to be here this morning, because it's a somber moment.
It really is. It really, truly is.
To some people, this might just be a story, but to you who cares about this team, to you who understands this is a brotherhood, no matter when you played, to you who, has been a student athlete, and to me, who cares about these guys far beyond how many points they score, rebounds they have, and how many wins they get. I mean, on your side of it, this is a brother being dismissed from the family. On my side of it, this is a guy that I built a relationship with and spent a lot of time with over these last 3 years, who's always been open to talking with me and sitting with me and having conversations. This to me is not just, oh yeah, that guy's not on the team anymore. Oh, yeah, they got to make up for 6 points. Oh, yeah, they got to do this and that. I think you and I see this differently, and it's more emotional because it's someone that we've either gotten to know or in your case is a part of the family. Not having Benny on the team, I feel that, because I've been with Benny in Greensboro. I've been with Benny here in Syracuse. I've been with Benny going into the season, coming out of the season, in the middle of the season. So, I don't just see this as a guy being dismissed. It kind of, not kind of, it hits my heart because it's emotional for me because whatever happened, I feel bad for everybody involved.
And it's even a little bit more deeper than me because, me and my wife was talking a little bit last night. I mean, I've seen so many of these type of situations at Syracuse with players, things happening with players, and you don't ever want to see that. With play, I've seen this type of thing over the years with Syracuse, things happening, and it's just kind of disturbing that, it has to happen like this, but, it's just really unfortunate. And it's funny, my wife said, man, we've actually seen so many things over the years. As good as Syracuse has been, and over the years, we've seen situations like this happen. And like I said, we were saying, it's like, and you never really get the true story of what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they do that at most universities, but I know at Syracuse, you never really get the true story. And even if I was to get the true story, because I'm a part of this brotherhood, I would just keep it to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and in that, it is, and as soon as I posted it, and I mean, I've had people asking me for months beyond this, when he was out, and then he was out again, I've had people consistently say, what is he doing? And what people don't understand is these are human beings. So they're not just stories. They're human beings. And like you said, if I knew, I'd probably just keep it to myself in the brotherhood. In my case, if I knew and it was something personal, it was something family, it was something that Benny was like, hey man, please just like respect me and respect, what I'm going through, I could keep it to myself. I've kept things to myself before, and somebody would say, well, you're not doing your job. You're not doing your job. You're supposed to be investigating. You're supposed to be this and that. These are human beings. These are people. It's not just a story. A story's going to go so far. But let's say like Benny took me aside and said, this is what's going on. This is what I'm dealing with. It's a very personal thing. Please don't share this because I'm really trying to work through this, that, and the third. To me, it's like, so I'm going to write a story and ruin somebody's life?
Well, you know what, Dan? You and I had we had those conversations.
Yeah.
And that's why I have so much respect for you, because I've shared things with you. It's never gone anywhere. And, and that's the beauty of doing the right thing and being who you are. That's why I don't have a problem ever getting on the air and having a chat, But you're right. I mean, some things I just at the end of the day, I just wish the kid well, and whatever he's going through, wish him well, because I want him to become the great player, great person, because playing basketball, it's just not about bouncing the basketball. It's more to it than bouncing the basketball. People go, oh, it's more to it than just bouncing the basketball. And I was on social media. I got off it yesterday because the negativity, the stuff that people say, he's a kid. And the negativity, the stuff that people were saying about this kid and this and that, granted, people are entitled to their opinions.
Yeah. But
just remember, he's a kid. And like I had to say to one person, I was like, you're talking about this kid like you live a perfect life. People fight battles every day that you or somebody doesn't know anything about. So give the kid a break.
Yeah. And, and I mean, you brought it up. There's this, because we live in a time where information is so easily available. People think that they have a right to it, and I've been told this before, I've read this before, I've thought about this, is that people say keep your personal problems to yourself because personal problems do not warrant public opinion, and a lot of people, and I've done this before too. I mean, you put out a message, and not even like I'm more put out like here's an inspirational quote. and it might have to do with something I'm going through, and then somebody will be like, hey, are you all right, or what's going on, or whatever. But there's this reality of, you don't air your dirty laundry in the public, because there are people out there that as soon as you give them information, they feel like, well, now that they have the information, they're entitled to tell you their opinion. You need to follow their opinion, because now that you've given them the information, you've given them access. And now that they have access, they think that they have a right to tell you how to lead your life, the decisions that you're going to make. And with these young kids, people say, well, I bought a ticket, so I have the right to say, get rid of this player. I have the right to say, sit this player. And it's not just Benny Williams. There's other people on this team that have been attacked. There has been sections of the Dome that have booed a certain player when he comes out onto the court recently here. We've seen in the past when there's been guys that are getting booed. And, there's already, and I said something about this going into the season, saying, like, I anticipate this happening because of the childish behavior of some human beings that don't act as humans. And then I saw somebody post it. I can't wait to see Joe Girard so I can boo him in the Dome. And I said, good. I hope he scores 30. I'm not saying that I want Clemson to win, Syracuse to win. I'm saying Syracuse is my hometown and I love Syracuse. Joe's my guy and I love Joe. And I told Joe flat out, and I'll say it to everybody here internationally. I told Joe, I can't wait for you to hit 30 in the Dome. Not because I got any hate against anybody, but because I respect him. I appreciate him. He worked hard. And let's be real. Joe Girard got dogged by the fan base. He got disrespected by the fan base. There were times where they wanted him on the bench. They wanted him to stop shooting. They're doing it to Justin Taylor now. They did it to Trevor Cooney before. It's amazing how people can boo somebody, and then a year or two later, they're like, oh, man, that's my dog. I got a T-shirt. I love that guy. And what these people need to understand, Gene, is like Joe remembers that. Joe remembers the people that treated him like garbage. So when you buy a Joe Girard T-shirt, he's like, thanks for the $20, but I still know who you are.
I'm specifically coming Saturday just to see him play.
Yeah.
He is, and you know what? And he persevered. And he did what he had to do, what was best for him by leaving. But he was a good kid. And some of the situations that he went through and some of the stuff that you would hear come out of people's mouth, I can't wait to come see him play. I mean, last night he lit up North Carolina. He had 5 threes. He was on fire.
Yeah, he was, and that's the thing. I mean, Clemson, keep in mind, folks, Clemson started off as one of the only undefeated teams a bunch of games in. They've had some really good games. He's had, him with this team has had some great moments. They've got a ton of moments on television. They just took down a very talented North Carolina team. They've done a lot of good work, and he's done a lot of good work. And, I mean, the reality is, Gene, that this is the juxtaposition and the craziness of some people that call themselves fans, but they're fanatics. And what I mean by that is there's a fan will go to a game. A fan will be upset with the team, but a fan will stay, a fan will support, and a fan will come to the next game even if you lose. A fanatic will be fighting with their wife, want a divorce. They can't tell her that because they're afraid of her, so they'll come to the game and scream at random strangers.
Right. That's putting it mildly.
What'd you say?
Yeah, that's putting it not too harsh, but yeah, and that's the kind of conversation I was having with somebody, and it was like, "Oh, take it easy, Gene." I was like, and then I was like, "No, I'm not going to take it easy. He's a kid."
Yeah.
I said, you don't know what he's going through, so give the kid a break. He was like, "Oh well," and this one particular person, "Well, let's not talk about it. If you want to talk about it privately, we could do it." I was like, I'm not talking privately with you. I said, I'm just stating what I feel. Yeah. You shouldn't be criticizing this kid when you don't know the situation. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Or the program for that matter.
Well, and what I was getting to kind of going with that is the fact that how many times have we seen fanatics, let's go to what it is, fanatics. How many times have we seen fanatics scream and rant and rave about a player and this and that, and I hate this guy, and I hope he leaves, and I hope he disappears, and I can't believe we recruited him. And then when he leaves, they're like, oh man, why is he gone? That's why we suck. He's not. I mean, have you seen that? Like, they hate people so much, and then when the player's gone, they're like, oh, well, this is why we're losing. This is why. I mean, they hated on Dungy, hated on Dungy, hated on Dungy. And his last year, I said, y'all better love this man up, because you're going to be really pissed when he's gone. And that next season, when the team struggled as all get out after that 10-3 year, people, some people, not many, but some came to me, tail between their legs, and said, hey, Dan, you were right. We do miss him. And 2 years later, people were like, man, I wish we could have Dungy back. It's amazing to me, because I'm telling you, mark my words. People were like, I hate Benny, I don't care, get him off the team, I don't care, doesn't matter, don't care, he's not good. Watch, Gene, watch. Tonight, Saturday, one of these games are going to be like, man, if we had Benny's shot from the outside, man, if we had this, we would have won this game. They're going to miss him after they said that they didn't want him.
Seen it many times, living here. I've seen it many times. It's and another thing, I can't even imagine some of the old head reactions if they had it in the 80s when I played, and if they had social media back then and all this.
Yeah.
I can, it's got to be tough for some of these kids to hear and possibly read some of the things if they're on social media. But it's got to be tough, It's got to be tough. Everybody just sees the athlete, but there's more to them just bouncing the basketball, and some people don't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these kids, outside of them committing some crime and doing something crazy, I mean, they should be supported. And it is. It's we live in this weird world where, people forget the fact that, like, 3 weeks ago you tweeted, why is Benny taking that shot? 3 weeks later, they're like, man, I wish we had Benny to take that shot. And now he's not here. He's not on the team. It's just such a weird scenario. But now we look at this. Benny's had to play center, right? He's had to play out of position at times, just like Marek Dolezaj had to play out of positions at times because they didn't have a true center. And you don't have Naheem McLeod. And how about this? How about this, Jeannie, going off of the point that I said? People are like, get Naheem out of there. We don't like Naheem McLeod. 3 games in. He's not a good center. He can't catch the ball. Da-da-da-da. And what do people say now? Well, what are we supposed to do without our center? What do you mean? Without the guy that you hated? The guy that you didn't want? So now you don't have the center you didn't want, and now you don't have the backup center in Benny Williams you didn't want. But here's the question. What happens now? Does Malik Brown now have to go back there? Does Peter Carey get more time out? What's going to happen with the interior of Syracuse defensively and offensively? Is it a Malik comes out and starts, Peter Carey spells him? Do you keep them both out there for an amount of time? Munir Hima, who did some good things last year, he's been in the doghouse this year. We barely see him, but he did some good stuff last year, and he had great hand-eye coordination to block a bunch of shots. And at one point, I said to Jesse Edwards, I said, are you guys in a battle to see who can block the most shots or have the best block of the night when there's a game where you got 2, he's got 3, you got 2, he's got 2? So what's going on? Because Munir had some good things and had experience, but we don't see him a lot. Malik Brown's not a center. Peter Carey has the height of a center, but has got to put on some more weight. He doesn't have as much experience as other guys. So where do we kind of put this all in, Gene, with who the center is going to be and how that affects the forwards on the team?
Well, I think you're going to have to use Carey and Maheen. You're going to have to. I don't think you can go any other way unless you want to go small on the hope that those guys don't get in foul trouble. I also think that if Brown stays out of foul trouble, he'll play a lot of the game. And I also think now this puts a lot of pressure on Copeland. Copeland's really got to bring it down.
Yeah. You know,
and they're going to come up with a plan. There's no question about that. They're going to come up with a plan, and you can best believe that the criticism ain't going to stop if things don't go well now that Benny's gone. Because people can say whatever they want about him personality-wise. Talent-wise, that kid can ball. I don't care what nobody say. Talent-wise, Benny has it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. And that's the thing, Gene. I mean, playing into what you and I have spoken about this morning is they can say all the negativity that they want to say about Benny from the outside looking in, but the reality of the fact is, with Benny not being there, you and I both know that somebody's going to open their mouth and be like, man, if Benny was here, we would have won the game. And I'd be like, man, then you should have appreciated him when he was here. And not that everybody didn't. Some people did, some people didn't. But, you know, they're going to miss Benny at some point. But like you said, it's more than basketball. At some point, the ball stops bouncing. And the reality of the fact is, Jeannie, it's a sad day. It's a sad day for Syracuse. It's a sad day for him moving forward. It's a sad day for his family and his loved ones. And ultimately, you know, something that needs to be said is the fact that, you know, I pray for him. I pray he finds his way. I pray that God guards him and guides him. I pray he finds peace. I pray that he didn't burn any bridges and nobody burned any bridges with him. And I hope that he can continue to play basketball. I hope he can continue to get an education. I hope he continue to have a great life. Because in some people's eyes, if he's not on the team anymore, they don't care what happens to him for the rest of his life. In my eyes, I care what happens to this kid because this kid and I cross paths. So for as long as Benny is on this planet and beyond that, I'm going to be praying and hoping that he's healthy, safe, happy, and that he has the best quality of life possible. To some people, hey, you're not on the team, you don't matter anymore. To me, it's like, hey, you're not on the team, are you okay?
That's a great point. Great point. And that's how I feel, you know. You always want to see, you still want to see the kid do well, you know. And he's a junior now, so he's lost his junior eligibility, I believe, and now he's got one more year to play. But for me, it's bigger than that. I want him to become a better person than when he left Syracuse.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to see him do well in life in general, you know. It's just, that's more important than me seeing him continue to play basketball.
Gene, I'm going to hit you with this really quick before I let you go. Gene Waldron here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports meets life. And we got a bunch of things that came in. Appreciate all your comments and your thoughts. We got something from Rex Trowbridge, also Syracuse brethren here, and he was on the show here recently. So Rex said, hey, Dan and Gene, just over a week ago, a number of my teammates reaching back 60 years came back to honor one of our own, a brother in the Syracuse basketball family. We are a family. Let me make sure I don't miss anything here. We are a family comprising generations, and we share a bond, reaching back to yesterday and forward to tomorrow. I didn't know Benny personally, but I'm deeply saddened to see him removed from the team, even as I recognize that the overarching interests of the team made it inevitable. My hope for the team is that it will be an example of addition by subtraction. My hope for Benny is that he learns and grows from this experience and lands on his feet. So always very well thought out words from Rex Trowbridge. And just any thoughts you have on Rex's words?
Well, you know, me and Rex are really good friends on Facebook, and I seen him at the game last week. He couldn't have said it any better, and that's exactly how most people should feel for Benny. That's how most people should feel. I mean, if you have any compassion, that's how you should feel. Regardless, that's how you should feel. Because if it was somebody else, or if it was them, you would want somebody to feel some kind of compassion for you or yourself. You would want somebody feeling some compassion for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Gene, I mean, the reality is, if anybody else was in Benny's situation, they would want somebody to feel for them. But some people can't see anything outside of whatever's right in front of them. Like, if it's my life, you better take care of me. If it's somebody else's life, who cares? And the reality is, at some point, God will teach you a lesson. And that lesson will be that how you treat people is exactly how you will be treated.
And I always say, don't ever think that it can't happen to you. One of the greatest quotes I ever heard. Don't think it can't ever happen to you.
Yeah. And, Gene, I'm going to ask you this. I have to ask you this, and I agree with you. And I think that people, I tell people all the time, karma is not a bee. Karma is only a bee if you slap her. She is the nicest out there. I mean, Karma is a sweetheart. If you hug, every time I see Karma, I'm like, Karma, hey, you want a chair? Pull it up. You want some tea? You want me to give you a hug? What you need, Karma? So, but I'll tell you this, Jeannie. I got to ask you this, and I'm gonna get a little bit worked up about it, so I'm prepping you for it. But because you said to me back in the day, I was like, why doesn't Syracuse run plays? And Jeannie says to me here on the show, he goes, Dan, we didn't run plays in the 80s. So here's my thing to you, Gene. Can we run a play? Can we box out? Can we set screens? I asked Adrian about setting screens against Florida State, and he said they were too good to set screens on. That didn't make no sense to me. So I'm asking you this. Can we set a screen? Can we have a pick and roll? Can we not just stand around the arc and wait for somebody to pass us the ball for an open three? I want to see offensive plays, pick and rolls, picks in general, and for the love of goodness, I would love to see one person box somebody. I don't care if they box out the person that sweeps the floor. I don't care if they box out the person that's handing out popcorn. I just want them to box somebody out, put a body on a body. So I'm asking you this from the fundamental, I played basketball my whole life, and you teach basketball all the time, played your whole life. Can we please do the fundamental things that we're not doing, is my question to you.
I believe so. I also will always say, this is Red's first year. He's got a lot of things that I'm sure he wants to work with. And I just believe now, you look at all these players, and they're so athletic, they forget about these fundamental things that make the game easier. Because you're right, sometimes we're standing around, we're waiting for somebody to make a play. Well, if you're standing around watching them, what are you, I don't see how something good's going to come of it. But yeah, setting screens and all that, all those things, it's just basic basketball. I think we can get to that, Tonight's going to be a big one, Tonight is going to be a huge game, and if we can put it all together and get a good win tonight, it'll ease a lot of the tension that's around the community, I believe.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If they don't box out with 10 minutes left in the game, 5 minutes left in the game, Jeannie and I are going to go box out on the court for somebody. So,
I'm subbing somebody out. I'm getting my uniform.
So I'm just saying, Jeannie, I need to see it. I need to see the box out, put a body on a body. I mean, I'm 5'8". Back then, I was 5'4", 5'5" in high school, and they make me box out people that are a head taller than me. And I'll tell you this, I did everything I could to put a body on a body and try and keep that guy out of the paint and out of the area. So hoping for good things with the team, as we always do, hoping that this team lands on their feet and hoping that, everybody can work through this, because the reality of it all is when a player departs for whatever reason, one player not being there, one coach not being there, we saw it with football, can change the entire locker room. And so my hope and my prayer for the team is that they can focus tonight, they can move forward tonight, and that as Benny moves forward, he can focus and he can get himself right, that he wins, that the team wins, and that those bonds that have been built forever last forever, and that they'll be able to work through this, because I feel like what people really don't pay attention to and don't know, that I've, by the grace of God, been able to see, is that a locker room being without one person or adding one person can change everything. And so I'm really hoping that they can be okay, and that the team will be okay, and that Benny will be okay as well. I mean, above everything else, I'm just praying that people are safe, healthy, and happy. Gene, yeah. You hope your hometown wins, and you hope they do well. But beyond everything else, I don't want Benny to go through any more strife, nor do I want the team to.
Well, I think Coach, he'll have him prepared as much as he can, and I'm sure they probably had the team meeting and have the conversation about what's going on. He'll have him ready. I mean, I truly believe in Coach. You know, I believe he's got the right staff. I believe he's going to, get the job done, and he'll have him ready to play tonight. And I'm one of these guys, win or lose, because no one goes out there to try to lose. Everybody, they go out there to try to win.
Yeah.
So if it don't go well, so be it. But I got their back regardless. And I tell people that all the time. I said, regardless, I have their back, and I always will.
And you always have. You stand by that word. Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange basketball alum, speaking here with me about Benny Williams' departure and the team moving forward. They have a game tonight. We'll see how they do, and we wish them and, of course, Benny the absolute best. Gene, as always, thank you for everything. I send you love, my brother, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
All right, bud. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
See you. That coming from Gene Waldron here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. And we now have picture-in-picture with us coming up here in just a moment, the Director of Athletics at CNS, Cicero, North Syracuse for the North Stars. I'm very happy, as always, to have on the broadcast with me Mr. Tim Bednarski, who's joining me here picture-in-picture on the heels of the announcement of Jim Ryan becoming the next head football coach with CNS. I got to speak with Jim coming right off of that, and now Tim's on the show on this to speak on this decision and stepping forward. Tim, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. So let's just, dive head first right into this thing. Why Jim Ryan?
Why Jim Ryan? Why not Jim Ryan? Jim and I had some really good conversations, and through his experience, both at the collegiate level and his past position at Ludden, I just like what he stands for. I like his football background, and I think our program can continue the success it's had with his leadership. So I'm looking forward to it. I didn't get a chance to watch the show yesterday, but I will. I'll dive in and see what he had to say.
Yeah, well, there's something to be said about that. There's this alignment between you and him. That there's similarities here that you align with Jim. What is it about Jim and you that you feel is paralleling?
Well, some of it I think is just we're about the same age. Played college football. We had talked about that, and just different paths in our career, and how it's always centered around having played the game, and those relationships that you build playing, well, any sport, but particularly football, has opened doors along the way, and so right off the get-go, we kind of clicked, and he's a good match, and I think some of the coaches that will be staying on will also connect because they're kind of aligned with the same principles and values. So.
And I know he was saying that he was hoping that the staff would stick around. He was hoping that the staff would stay on. What can you tell us about who will return?
As of right now, we haven't sat down with anybody. It's actually starting today. So, my hope is if not all of them, can stay. Obviously, it's got to be a fit on both sides, and people's jobs, whether it's if they're a teacher or if they work in outside, depending if they can still do it. So, a lot of different conversations, and then there's putting the pieces together, what positions and matches. So, it's a process. I was hoping this was going to happen a little earlier. It just took a little longer, and but we're here in early February. The boys are back to work in the weight room and getting ready to get after it in August.
And here with Tim Bednarski, CNS Director of Athletics on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Tim, like you said, you wish that this process had been completed a little bit earlier, but going through this process, bring me into it. How busy of a process was it? How many candidates, what was the response like? Did you spend a lot of time interviewing different people? Was Jim kind of one of those first interviews and you said, hey, let's put a hold on everything because we really like this guy? What can you tell me about the interviewing process?
Well, it was kind of a, for me looking at, we had some head coaching experiences and I had some conversations with about 4 or 5 different coaches. And then there were some others that, were in current positions that didn't want to leave. And where they're at, they were happy. So when I had the conversations with Jim, he liked it. And again, going back to what we're talking about as far as being a fit for, had to be a fit for him as well, not just us. So it all worked out.
What was it about what he did at Ludden specifically that spoke to you? His most recent history of being the head coach there for 2 seasons. What did you like about what he's done most recently?
Well, honestly, the wins and losses part of being at Ludden wasn't really anything I looked at. It was more about, the things that I'm looking for that he can bring to the table. And that's, doing the right things, not just on the field, but off the field. With the kids and making sure, when we're out at after a game at a restaurant, the kids I'm talking about, we're with our CNS logo, we're representing, in the community, we're walking the halls the right way and we're doing it academically. So, it's more about that piece and you build on that and the wins and losses will come. And obviously his background, with the football aspect, he's been around it enough, had success in all those places. So it all kind of goes together.
And I know that for you, what does they say? Heavy as the head that wears the crown. As a leader of athletics at CNS, these last few months have been hard. It's been difficult. And I always feel like the people involved should be the ones that get to speak instead of being spoken for. How can you say the administrative team at CNS and, just as an administrative team and as a school and as a district, you've been able to kind of move forward through some of the stuff that had happened toward the end of the season to where you are now? Because I know that you've worked diligently for many years and CNS has done so much good that I feel like you should be able to speak about moving forward.
Yeah, no, it's 2024. Jim Ryan's our new head football coach. Last year's past seniors, we are solidifying some schools that they're going to, making sure they're heading off to a good place. And, we're ready to move with Jim's leadership, putting the staff together and, we're on to the next season. And, regardless of what happened at the end of the year, this would be the process if that didn't happen, because we are now, that's kind of old, now we're going to chase the next sectional championship because we're in a new year.
And I know that this is important to you. It's incredibly important to me, is recruiting Central and Upstate New York, is these student athletes of any sport having an opportunity to move forward and to get those looks. What can you say about on the football side of things? I know I spoke with Jim Ryan about this. He said he hasn't spoken specifically with Fran Brown, but he's spoken with someone on his staff. He knows that the staff has been on campus to look at a couple kids. What can you say about the new staff at Syracuse and the hopes that they wouldn't let Mike Washington Jr., for example, out of this community? It's something that has been a passion project of mine. I know it's important to you. So how do you feel about the new staff at Syracuse connecting with your school and with your district and looking at your players?
Yeah. So he's doing it the right way right off the bat. They've been in twice, and I started as athletic director in 2012, July 2012, and SU came in once before that. And it was with Mike. So just making those connections, and I think they get big picture. We may not have a kid this year, but we may in 3 or 4 years. And developing those local relationships. This summer they're bringing back the 7-on-7 camp and the big man camp and little kid camp, and he's done a great job in the short period that he's been there. So I look forward to seeing what the outcome. Obviously, he's brought in big name recruits, and hopefully they'll bring back Syracuse football like it was in the 90s.
And for you, I mean, anybody that comes on campus, and I've been able to travel around the country and see a lot of different things, especially things in some of these prominent states like Florida when it comes to recruiting. CNS facility-wise, you have pushed constantly to be the best that you can be, to upgrade where you can. You get to host different opportunities in the postseason. It's become a great venue for your team. It's become a great venue in general in Central and Upstate New York. What can you say about what you have, and is there anything that you may be working on?
Yeah, we're working on a lot, and it's going to be we're actually doing a major renovation right now. But to the facilities, yes, super proud of them. I believe they're the best in New York State. We do host a ton, and it's so nice to hear people coming from all over the state just saying, wow, this place is unreal. I mean, it's bigger and nicer than some colleges in the area. But currently we are kind of shut down the gym underneath the locker rooms, tennis courts, and like a bunch of the gym foyer. So our building, phys ed classes are all kind of turned around a little bit. And then phase 2, which is supposed to start the digging soon, is adding the pool on the backside. So this spring is going to be interesting because the front ticket area entrance is going to be kind of shut down, and I'm hopeful that they'll get through it before football season, but people got to be patient. They're going to have to walk around the building from the parking lot to get to events at the stadium. But at the end of the day, it's going to be really nice. We look forward to the new gym. It's been a long time coming. So,
yeah, I think the level of talent as well as, some coaches that you've had come through definitely show what your expectations are. And then what we've seen with the football complex area, and now to continue to push forward from that, is not only a beacon for CNS out to the world, but it also represents our community of Central and Upstate New York. So, Tim, I've known you for a long time. I appreciate our time and our chats, and I appreciate the work that you're doing moving forward. Speaking with Jim Ryan, first time, he definitely left a great impression on me. So I can understand, that he's left a good impression on you, and I look forward to what's to come here for football and sports in general. I'm going to give you the final word here. I know you got a busy day, so what do you want the community to know as the CNS North Stars step forward football-wise and in general? What would you like to say to the community?
No, I just think we're gonna continue to try to put out the same product we've been. We try to not rebuild but reload, but it's going to be a new group possibly, depending on what the outcome is with the staffing. But the kids that are here, we started back up workouts. We had 50 some kids there, so we hopefully have enough in the pool to put out the same product. And I look forward to Jim's leadership with it, and the continual community support for CNS football, and we'll see what we can do.
And coming from the Director of Athletics for CNS and the North Stars, Tim Bednarski. Tim, as always, I appreciate your time. I hope your meetings go well, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
I'm going to throw this out there because actually I'm at Section 3 right now, and we had our flag football scheduling, which starts this spring. And we have us, Beeville, Syracuse City, Oneida, Liverpool, SAS starting, Section 3, but also the state girls flag football. So that is happening this spring, and it's a full varsity sport. There's sectional playoffs and the state playoffs. So we're looking forward to kind of jumping in with section 5 and 6. I think did it last year, and see where it goes.
Yeah, excited about flag football. Obviously, you and I will keep in touch, and any way that we can help here at Wake Up Call, I'm always happy to do that.
Yeah, we'd love to get some of the new athletes for flag football on or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So let's set it up, Tim. Done deal. So
all right.
My best to you and your meetings and everything going on, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you. That coming once again from Tim Bednarski here. Tim coming to us from CNS, the Director of Athletics at Cicero North Syracuse for the high school, and of course representing the North Stars in the community and beyond. And that's exciting. Little news that he got to share there about being there with the sectionals today and talking about the fact that flag football is going to be starting and the opportunity that it's going to be a fully fledged sport. There's going to be sectionals and championships and whatnot. It's good to hear about. So renovations going on, new sport being added. This is exciting. Exciting times. And Jim Ryan, like I said, and for those of you, go back and watch the full conversation with Jim, youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. While you're there, make sure that you click subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a live broadcast again and you get updated when we have new shows coming onto our YouTube channel. Thank you to everybody. I had a hope for our YouTube channel, and you took that hope that I had and you exponentially went above and beyond. So thank you for your support and thank you for your kindness. Thank you to Tim Bednarski for being a part of the show here today. We're going to take our final step aside, and we will come back to wrap things up as we get set for tomorrow's broadcast, which will be featuring in hour number 1, my good buddy and fellow sportscaster and writer Ross Turetsky joining me during the NFL title game week. Him and I will be discussing the Chiefs as well as the 49ers. We'll be discussing everything that is to come moving forward, where I'm going to get into the awards that I put out there, get his thoughts on it. Brendan and I made our picks for the Offensive Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year, the Offensive and Defensive Rookies of the Year, the Comeback Player of the Year, the Coach of the Year, and the MVP. We'll get Ross's thoughts. We'll get Papa Joe's thoughts in hour 2. So we're going to have plenty of football coming up for you tomorrow as we edge even closer to the NFL title game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs for the second time in 5 years. We're also going to have the conversation of, is Pat Mahomes the best quarterback ever? If he's not, is he the second best? Is he the third best? Is he not even in the top 10? Is he in the top 5 out of the top 5? We'll talk about Patty Mahomes. We'll also discuss where Brock Purdy is at in his trajectory here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. All of that and more coming up in our conversations this Thursday, February 8th, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. with Ross Turetsky, 10 to 11 with Papa Joe. We'll be back after this to wrap up today's broadcast. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks here for you in our community on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is the sports card shop of choice here on Wake Up Call. And so many wonderful people heading off to GG Cards and Breaks. They are open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. You can go there and get singles as well as graded cards, packs, and boxes. All different sports, hockey, basketball, baseball, football, all sports, as well as AEW, and you can find the new Disney Lorcana while supplies last, and Pokemon cards, all on site, on location at GG Cards and Breaks. It is not your typical sports card shop. The level of care and concern and attention to detail, they're constantly bringing in product, and product is constantly going out. So if you see a card you like on a Monday, it might not be there on Tuesday. If you see a box you like, I can tell you this flat out. If you see a box you like, you might go back there the next day, a few hours later, and it's gone. So make sure when you go to GG Cards and Breaks, if there's something that you see and there's something that you like, hey, go ahead and grab that and bring it on home and add it to your collection. If you've never collected sports cards before, it is a great place to start. It is a wonderful first impression. And if you've collected sports cards in the past, it's a great place to continue the hobby. There's wonderful people that run GG Cards and Breaks. I'm honored to know and be around Josh Gideon and Anthony Campbell, the entire staff, Alex, Joel, and the crew that work very diligently to make sure that you have everything you need. I went in there yesterday, ton of stuff going on, very busy, buying, making sure they have what they need, going through the inventory. The amount of work that they do is incredible. And I tell people this all the time. You either love it or you think you love it. And if you don't love it, you're not going to keep doing it. And as much work as they have and as much as they put on themselves, they love the hobby. No matter how busy they are, how late they stay, whatever they got going on, they're opening packs, they're opening boxes, they're looking for their favorite players, they're adding to their collection, they're having fun. And that's what means a lot to me, is that whatever the age you are and whatever the age is of those that work at GG Cards and Breaks, there's a passion for this, like that we're all big kids. When I walk in there and I'm like, I got this, and they're like, oh, you got, you got that, that's so exciting. And then you talk to somebody else, and, you talk to Anthony about Disney Larcana, and we're excited. And I said to him, I want to, have a game against you. And he takes out his deck, and he's like, I'm ready. Got my deck with me all the time. And then I'm talking with Josh, and he's like, oh, you got a Brett Beatty? I'm collecting Brett Beatty and this and that. And it's just fun. It's exciting. It's a community of people that are passionate about sports, passionate about their teams, passionate about their players, and realize that the world of card collecting allows us to get even closer to those that we appreciate watching and we appreciate supporting. So it is such a wonderful thing to be around, and I implore you to go over there because of that. So make sure you head off to GG Cards and Breaks today. Let them know that DT sent you. You can literally say that. It's very easy to remember. DT told me to come over your way. DT sent me to GG. How about that? Very easy, very simple. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, right off at Teal Ave, 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 5. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being a part of the show, right? We talked about fans versus fanatics, and I know that a lot of you I don't think fanatics like me, so I don't think they like themselves. So to the fans, that I get to speak with, and to the fanatics, send my love to all. But looking at the the wonderful supporters that we've had here, thank you so much for being a part of the show and for having fun. I have seen, and we talk about it here, but I've seen teams that get the love and get the support. I've seen teams that don't get the love and support. And what I know beyond everything is these are kids. These are kids that have a passion. These are kids that are working hard. Whatever sport we're talking about, you have passionate people of all different ages that are student athletes, that are professional athletes. And, you have the coaches. You have coaches that care. And we've had so many wonderful guests here on the show. And I'm honored to have each of them and to be able to tell their stories and have these conversations. So I would just say to anybody, when you're choosing between the life of a fanatic or a fan, to always choose fan, because fan can have an opinion. Fan can disagree. Fan can be constructive. But fan is not destructive, personal, attacking, hypocritical, hateful. And I'm always going to fight for people being respected. There's people that I'm not fond of in how they treat me or how they treat somebody else. And it takes a lot for me to not be fond of somebody. You got to work really hard for me to go, not really a fan. Because even in saying it today, my stomach kind of gets upset. Like, well, I don't want to not be fond of somebody, right? God is fond of all of his children. I want to be parallel to God and get back to heaven. So, you try to find the good in people. And so, I guess what I'm saying is that some people do things and you kind of just sit there and you scratch your head. And you say to yourself, why? Why do you do that? And when people attack, when people come to the Dome and they're booing their own players and they're booing their coaches, it makes me sad, because you have every right to have an opinion. But why would you boo somebody? By the way, most of the people that boo, I'm convinced of this, 99.99999% of the people that will go to an event and boo, if they got booed at an event, would run off the stage and cry. They'd probably quit. So, I don't know if saying I'm not, well, I am not fond of that attitude, but I try to find the good in people and I pray for everybody. I just cautionary tale want to let y'all know that like Gene said, don't think it can't happen to you. Maybe you're not a basketball player, but if you're out there booing people and saying horrible things on social media and spreading hate speech, that might come back. Somebody might do it to you, and you'll be sitting there crying and wondering why somebody would hurt you so bad, and then somebody turns around and goes, well, didn't you just talk about somebody else like that? So, kindness goes a long way. And I think it's important to, if you're going to be a fan, then be a fan. And that's with any sport. Somebody says, I'm a fan of the Jaguars, and all they ever do when they talk to me is hate on the Jaguars and spread negativity on the Jaguars. I'm like, please be a fan of somebody else. Please, don't be a fan of my team anymore. Just be a fan of, literally anybody else, because I don't want you to be a fan of my team, because if this is you being a fan, you don't know what a fan is. And so I speak so often to true fans, and I also speak to fanatics daily. And I think that's the life of a broadcaster, right? We talk to the people that are hypocritical and double standard and just maniacs. And then we also speak to the people that understand that these are human beings. And so in speaking to all of you, I would say if you're going to a game tonight, if you're going to a game tomorrow, if you're watching a game, to obviously have your opinion, but always have an opinion that you wouldn't deliver your opinion in such a way that if somebody was talking to you or talking to your children or your husband or wife or significant other, that you'd be okay with, right? Because I might get upset about a play, but if I talk about somebody in a way that I would never want you to talk about my wife, what type of person am I being, right? And if that came back on me, how would I feel? How would my wife feel? So, it's the age-old tale of when you go to a high school game and you start screaming that this one player sucks and why are they passing this player the ball, and oh my goodness, I'm going to blow my brains out if I see them get one more pass because they can't shoot to save their lives. And you have no idea who's in the crowd, and their mom is sitting right next to you. So you're sitting here just blasting this player over and over again, saying they suck. That number 15, they're trash. And here's number 15's mom right next to you. What would you do if it was reversed? What would you do if somebody was talking about your kid? Number 37 out there? Oh my gosh. If I played like them, I'd quit. What would you do if somebody said that about your kid that's right next to you or online? So, I think in the world of, and they say, Dan, isn't it your job as a talk show host to critique things? It's my job as a talk show host to discuss things. It's my job to bring people together, to make your world smaller, to bring you the people that you thought you would never hear from, to involve you in the conversation, make you feel like you're sitting on the couch with us. It is not my job to hate. It is not my job to beat down. And I know that we go through adversity, and sometimes we have to talk about tough subjects, which we do on the show. We did today. We talked about a lot of things, candidly. There's a way that I handle myself, and there's a way that other people handle themselves. And if you like people disrespecting people and being, just forceful and negative and hateful and lying to people, if that's what you like, this is not the show for you. But if you like real conversations that are genuine with people that trust me and come to me and feel safe with me, then this is the show for you. And I feel like people that have listened and watched over time and read, you get it. Syracuse could win tonight or lose tonight. I'm going to write a game story that talks about the game, that gives you an impartial view of, here's the game. This is what happened. If you weren't at the game and you read my story, the whole point of my story is that I paint you a picture through writing that makes you feel like you saw the entire game, you know what happened, and you were there. If I can do that, I've done my job. But win or lose, I go into the locker room. Win or lose, I talk to the guys. I talk to the girls. I talk to whatever sport I'm covering, wherever I'm at. Win or lose, we have a conversation. Win or lose, we move forward. Win or lose, I respect them. And so tonight, if you are going to the Dome, be respectful of Benny. Be respectful of his former teammates. Be respectful of the staff. And if you don't have anything nice to say, go watch Bambi again and listen to Thumper and hear what his mama taught him. Because whether you agree or disagree with the decision, whether you agree or disagree with Benny being on the team, whether you agree or disagree that having him is good or not having him is whatever it may be, he is a human. You don't know what he is going through. You don't know the whole situation. And even if you know something, you may not know all of it because you can't get in Benny's head. And so whatever happened, this is a sad day for Syracuse basketball. This is a sad day for Benny. This is a sad day for the university. This is a sad day for sports. This is a sad day for dreams. Right? It's adversity. But just because it's a sad day doesn't mean it has to stay a sad day. And it doesn't mean we can't move forward. And I hope that we do. And I want us to. I want us to. And the best way for us to move forward is to respect Benny, respect the team, respect the coaching staff, and be positive tonight. Because it hit me a little bit that Benny's not going to be there, but it's going to hit me when I'm at the game and when I'm in the locker room. And for somebody who cares about these kids, it hits different with me. And I'm not saying that other people don't. They all could, they all couldn't. I don't know. I'm not in their head. I'm not in their heart. But I'm not there to write a story. I'm there to build a relationship. And in building that relationship, I also tell stories. I'm going to be sad today when I don't see Benny. And I hope he's okay. So with that being said, I want to thank you for watching and listening to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time is when we are with you. And we're also with you in your pocket wherever you go. We're in your car, we're in your pocket, we're in your office, we're in your house. Why? Because you can reach us on any of your devices through Amazon Music, through Audible, through iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple. Try to say two words at once. iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, as well as Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. So make sure you check us out on all of these wonderful channels. When you do, click follow or subscribe, whichever fits the channel that you're on, and that way you'll be connected with us all the way through. So whenever we post something, you'll be able to see it, you'll be able to be a part of it, and we appreciate everyone that has by searching Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on any one of these avenues. And make sure you do that today. Thank you to everyone who has. With that being said, we implore you to visit our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York. They are at Carvel DeWitt, and today is Wednesday, which means that we got something really cool for you guys. Buy one, get one. So the DT Dolphin that's available all week long, all throughout the year, during every season, is only at Carvel DeWitt. On Wednesdays, it's BOGO, baby. So you can buy one, get one of the DT Dolphin, which is an ode to the Moyne College Dolphins, right there at Carvel DeWitt. Go and get your DT Dolphin, which is mint chocolate chip ice cream, green for the Dolphins, topped off with hot fudge, whipped cream, and a cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream, only available at Carvel DeWitt. And Wednesdays are Sundays. And what that means is Wednesday at Carvel DeWitt is buy one, get one. So you can go with someone you love today, or on a first date, or with your friends, or with whoever. With your mentor, head over to Carvel DeWitt, with mom, with dad, grandma and grandpa, brother, sister, whoever it may be. Head there today, get yourself a DT Dolphin, and get one free. Buy one, get one at Carvel DeWitt. The Wildcat Sports Pub, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, a.k.a. the snack capital, a.k.a. the place you need to go for Valentine's Day gifting if you want your Valentine's Day to be sweet and not salty. So make sure you get over there. They do have stuff that's salty, but you know what I mean. Play on words. Let's have some fun. GG Cards and Breaks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Avicoli's, Great Lakes, Honda City, Pizza Man, Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own sandwich, and it's game day, which is a perfect day to get the Cuse McMother. The Cuse McMother, there for you, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Cut it up and have it with some syrup at Mother's Cupboard 7 days a week on 3709 James Street in Syracuse. Open 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. daily. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. The only place that I trust to take care of my little Lillian for short and long-term care. Head to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, both in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, and moments off the highway and Erie Boulevard, right there in East Syracuse. The Moyne College Dolphins are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. You'll find the Dolphins on Wednesdays, like today, on Dolphin Time. Dolphin Time is Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Starting off our Wednesday broadcast weekly, we have the Dolphins with us, AD and DT, featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta, and myself, Dan Tortora, comes to you the first and third Wednesday of each month. Second and fourth, we bring you the Dolphin Dive, like today with Joe Tesori, the Moyne men's and women's golf head coach, coming to you in the Dolphin Dive. Dolphin Dive dives into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni, all throughout the year, right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month. And of course, we underpromise and overdeliver, as you've gotten plenty of Dolphin Dives outside of Wednesdays at 9 a.m. You could find all of our coverage with the Dolphins by subscribing to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, hang out with us right there on YouTube, and you can find our Moyne Dolphins playlist on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com under exclusive partners. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com, and you know what it is. Fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We have extended our partnership, and we are moving into year 3 together, which is absolutely insane that we've already gone through our first 2 years. Well, time flies when you're having fun, and we've been having a great time with the student athletes and the coaches of men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and we will have esports coming up for you as well. We've done some things with esports. They have a new coach now, Connor Carroll. Excited to have him join the broadcast. A lot of great things happening with the Bobcats on James Street in Syracuse, New York. Make sure that if you're looking to continue your education and or you have some student-athlete eligibility, to head off to Bryan and Stratton College on James Street in Syracuse, New York today. And they have great programs. We've gotten to speak on some of these programs as well on the show, which has meant a lot to me that we've been able to have conversations about the curriculum and that side of it. If you'd like to get in touch with Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, you can call 315-506-4389. You can also call 315-472-6603. The main campus, the one on James Street in Syracuse, New York, that's the second number I gave you, 315-472-6603. You'll find your Bobcats in the Bobcat Buzz, our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership spotlighting the Bobcats monthly inside of our specials entitled Bobcat Buzz. And that Bobcat Buzz comes to you every single month with student athletes, coaches, and also featuring administration throughout the year. You will find it all by subscribing to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Hit the notification bell. Check out our playlist, BSC Syracuse, on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Bobcats by going to our website, wakeupcalldt.com, and looking under exclusive partners. Once you do that, you can bookmark us, keep us, and save us on the website. For more information on your Bobcats, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. As always, go Bobcats. And with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. I think it's wonderful that you spend your morning with me. For those of you that are watching this on playback, I want to say thank you, because we're live right now, but I want to give a little shout out to the future of those of you that are watching and listening after the show goes live. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day, a part of your week, your month, and your year. We've started off 2024 with great and awesome opportunities. God is always good, and I have known that my whole life, even when I haven't given God the credit that God deserves. God is great, and I hope that you know that. I hope all your prayers are answered, and if you'll oblige me now, I'd like to say a prayer for everybody watching and listening, as well as my loved ones, and everyone everywhere. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, I pray today that you help us to be healthy, you help us to be safe, and to be happy, at the very least, to be ourselves and to be with you, to have happiness. I pray that you give us all of your gifts to do your will and to be well, that our days are long and fun and go by slowly in a good way, so that we enjoy every moment, make the most of it, and that nothing passes us by, knowing that time is the one thing you can't get back. So may we spend that time wisely, whether we're traveling, staying put, or both. May everyone who needs healing, including all of my loved ones and the people that I know, including my mom and my dad, Tina, as well as Miss Lillian and Marianne, Maggie, and so on and so forth. I send my prayers, Nan. I send my prayers to all of you, Jimmer. I send my prayers to you, God, that we are all healing completely and that we heal for good. No matter what, we heal through you, and we handle well whatever comes our way, whether it comes from us or comes from somebody else. I also pray for healing and handling well for Benny and for the team. I pray to you, God, that we are safe and sound and together with our loved ones. Even when our loved ones pass on, may we always be together through you, because dying you destroyed our death, and rising you restored our life. I pray for a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and so on. I pray that our dreams come true. I pray that we stay healthy, and I pray that we are never prisoners to anything, that you free our spirit, free our mind, free our heart, free our body, and help us to be well in all ways. In your most precious name, God, I reach out to you. Thank you for your love, and ask for, even in adversity, to see the light, and for only good to rule the day, because you rule everything. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I hope you all have a great day. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. Big time thanks inside of Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory for the wonderful What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics and guests for the day. Big time thanks to Joe Tesori, Moyne Dolphins men's and women's golf head coach. Many thanks to Gene Waldron, Syracuse Orange basketball alum, and thanks to Tim Bednarski, the CNS Cicero North Syracuse Director of Athletics and Co-Curricular Programs. Thank you to each of you gentlemen. Thank you for all of you watching and listening around the world. And, of course, I hope you have a great day again. And just have fun. Enjoy it. I went for a walk yesterday, so do something nice for yourself today. And stay healthy and stay well. God bless. No stress. Do your best. We'll talk with each other soon. And I'll see some of you at the Dome tonight. Be well and stay safe.